and welcome to Flory Models live with you. Saturday night relaxing chill show, apparently. Don't know, something like that. It's very nice. Look, the sun's just come out as well. Anyway, good evening everybody. Lovely to be here. It only feels like yesterday. Oh, it was. And this afternoon. We were doing it this afternoon as well. So yes, all good. We do have everyone. I've got a new box of tricks today, just saying everybody. So look, we can show you the team. Look, there they all are in their little humble abode. So we've got John. You alright, John?
Hello.
John's finished his kefir today.
Well, not quite. Nearly.
Oh, I thought you said it was done. Almost. You can tell everybody how good the wash was as well. That you actually...
I will hold my hands up, and I did say to Phil this afternoon, I've forgotten how good just using the wash was.
Yes, I agree. And we got Nathan. How you doing, Nathan?
I'm good. The tornado is finished.
It's finito. Very
And
nice.
that was weathered with just 2 washes. I'll use the black and the dark dirt.
Yes. Very nice. So, and you got a video part of that going up this week?
I just literally, just before we came on, I took some photographs. I just need to put them on the end of the video and then watch my computer spend 6 hours rendering it and uploading it.
Perfect. Lovely job. And we've got Mr. Matt, as always.
Hello. Hello, hello.
Very nice. Have you done your tracks yet?
Yes, they're on.
Look at that.
All weathered.
Very nice.
Well, not quite
You're
underneath.
not going to paint the underside then?
I just want to see that.
Well, we all just did because you just flashed it to us.
It's alright. It's all going to sat on here anyway, so when I get round to doing that bit.
Yep.
But yeah, it's nearly done. I'm just doing the gun at the minute. Just finished the machine gun, and it's finitoed.
Very good.
So yeah, happy with that.
Very, very nice indeed. And Andy, looking windswept. Not as windswept as he was about half hour ago. I can tell everyone.
Well, I know, yeah.
Jesus. Look, a finished
The kefir is
kefir.
finished. Mine's just had a Flory wash as well.
Oh.
And it's alright. It looks really nice.
Very
Glad of
nice
that. Now it's finished.
That's-
Just waiting for a pitot tube to come to replace the kit one. But yeah, nice little. No, it's not a nice kit. It's a horrible kit, but enjoyed it. Now it's finished.
Now it's finished. Now it's finished. It's all good. Right. Okay. So, John, hold up your kefir. Because it's a bit like looking at Andy's, but bigger.
Yeah.
Other.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's looking okay now, I must admit. I did get a bit bogged down with it, but now I can see the end in sight. I'm glad I did it.
Cool. I must admit, like we were saying earlier, it's a very cool scheme. I like the scheme on those. It's something a little bit different. Very, very nice indeed. And good evening to everybody who's in chat. God, now he's on about what? The audio's out of sync. Always is. It's because of the way we run the system. It's not easy getting it to get down copper pipes and on string. So, yes. Don't forget, we got the questions things up on the site as well. Hold on, I've got a button for that as well. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, that's down in here. So you can post up your questions down below there and we'll go through those throughout the show. If you've got anything long-winded, especially because clearly just trying to read them in the chat room is a little bit difficult. So post them up into the forum, we can do that. We're not on live on YouTube tonight, everyone. So this is literally just us guys and obviously the guys in the Flory Models chat room as well. So definitely. Do have to say, Pete, get well soon. Peter Field had a heart attack, for guys who don't know, yesterday after struggling with one of these. So I'm trying to take it more easy, clearly, but Peter did have a bit of a bad turn. He's all right. He's still with us. He's probably watching us in hospital as well. But yes, so get well soon, mate, and you can get back to finish yours off as well. So that's it. I'm a bit worried now. Perhaps it's like a heart attack machine. Take on one of these, the stress and the filler and everything else like that, it give you a bloody heart attack. So yes, but anyway, that's me. I'll be getting on with this one. This is once had its final coat, rub down, everything else this afternoon. So that's it. Filler is completed. It is actually, I have to say, as smooth as a baby's behind. It's really, really nice. Very happy how it's all gone and everything else like that. I've done a real basic paint job on the cockpit. Literally, it's just black, white and some blue. Ready to have the canopy once that's dried. That'll be stuck on and that will go on. We're going to do a little bit of blending work on the front end on that as well. So that one is all sorted and ready to go in there. I've got engines and stuff which I'll sort out this evening as we make our way through. So yes, that's about it. So anyone got any gossip?
Can we just reply to Trevor, Phil, 1 second? He's asking how to use the Molotov pens.
Yeah.
And basically, all you do is you just push it down a few times.
Put your overhead on. Do you have on your overhead?
That's all right. He's doing it there. He's got it.
Just push it down a few times, and then it'll pump the paint out of it, and you can then use it. And just keep doing that every now and again.
It's best if you dab them, innit?
Yeah, the thing is with it, you don't sort of write them on. You sort of dab it and it pulls, and when it pulls it self levels and you're all good to go with it and everything else like that. So it's more akin to flooding with it, and that's the best way to do it. You can use it with a brush as well. So if you dab a little bit of a pull, and to be honest, I had it here earlier, this one here, it's all shiny on the bottom. That's because that's got Molotov, and all I do is come along with a bit of lacquer thinners, stick it onto it, and then come in with a brush and for hand painting it. So you can reactivate it even when it's dried and gone off and everything else like that, and it works really well as well. So, but if you decant it out of it, you can actually open up the back of the pen as well and take it out with a brush out the back of it. So that's the bit where you would normally fill it up and do it that way. So yes, very good. But yes, very good. Everyone's in. Look, Alex, Archie, we've got Brian. God, it's all jumping around now. Chris, Dan, Darren, David, Ed. Yes, lots and lots of you in there this evening. We hope you're all well. Everyone enjoying their Saturday afternoons. So
Stephen says hello from Kansas City. Then Alex says evening all from Leeds. Just don't quite have the same.
It's not as exotic, is it?
What? Kansas City? No,
Kansas City to Leeds. Yeah.
yeah, doesn't have the same ring to it, does it? Leeds. Yeah, that's it. Right, okay, so if we just do a couple of these little questions in here, and then we can all disappear into our separate ways of getting on and stuff over that. So Andy Moth says, hi Phil and team, always a struggle with getting an accurate demarcation line with the classic Royal Navy two-tone white and extra dark sea grey. I recently completed the Kinetic FRS-1 Harrier, which came out reasonably well, but the front fuselage to intake was more than accurate, with both the kit instructions and extra decal scheme photos being hard to line up the split line. How do you guys do it? I use Hataka red line for the extra dark grey, but the extra colours doesn't seem to like the whole photos available on the internet, which seems to look lighter and more blue grey. Any suggestions for when I build a Phantom? Love the shows, all the rest of it. Demarcation lines, again, it's one of those ones. If it's a hard edge camo, it's not so bad. If you get in trouble getting into areas to get the masking tape in, so I always do the lightest colour first, okay, so that'll be the white underside, and then spray the lot and then come in and then mask up. Secret really is to getting around small complex areas and stuff like that is thin tape. So that's why if you've got like an infini board with all the different ones, you just put on your normal size of mask tape, cut it into smaller bits, and that way you can get them into tiny little areas and you can get them to conform better than standard like 6mm tape or something else like that, which is a pain to bend round things, especially to get it to conform around intakes and in little tricky areas and stuff like that. So that's what I tend to do, get in there. Also things, if you can't get in there, putties, so you know, white blue tack, the white version of it, that as well, you can literally put it into a sausage, poke that into tiny little areas and crevices to bung it up to act as a mask as well, so sometimes they're quite handy. And really working your way along. But also If it's not looking brilliant, I will just go in there with a brush. That's the great thing with a hard edge camo. You go in there with a brush and just literally sharpen it up and you know, put it in a little bit better. But the usual thing is, you know, aircraft when they're painted, especially on carriers, we were speaking about this the other day, they're not as accurate as the other. So you might get two aren't the same anyway. So you can be a little bit more free-handy with it and can adjust it. They're not always exactly the same, especially if there are touch-ups in the field, as we found out in the past. You guys?
So is he saying then he's having problems with it, making the demarcation line, or is he having problems with the paint he's using?
No, I think he's saying he's having more of a trouble with the actual doing the demarcation lines of how you go about doing them and stuff like that, rather than the paint.
Line up, does he mean?
Yeah, getting the line to line it all up and make it sort of go. The trouble that you always get is, you know, when you look at instructions, so, and they have that, like here, they always show it as if it's a straight line, because that's all they've done it in here. The reality is it's a curved area, so it's never going to be as it shows on a 2D diagram. So a lot of the ones, you look at them and it goes along, and then you look at a picture of a real aircraft and it's not actually like that, because they show it from another angle which perhaps shows it better. But you know, when you're looking at standard top-down view of it or bottom-up view, you know, it's just a straight line. The reality is it's on a curve and you've got various things, and when you look at it side on, it might be different. So again, I think that's what he's saying as well. Which would you go by? And again, that's just references. Look at references of the real thing and try and work out from there where they would be.
And always remember this: you can't see both sides at the same time.
Yes.
Cheated.
So if one's slightly higher.
True though, not can you?
Well, this is it.
It's true, yeah.
Yeah, you mean.
But yeah.
Yeah.
That works with decals as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
As long as you all okay. See, Harrier.
I mean, the other thing as well is sponge for chucking down intakes and in cockpits is good. You know, packing sponge is really good for.
Yeah, I tend to.
Yeah.
This is why I always keep some here. Look, you know,
Like Phil said, I always use like the really thin tape. I mean, that's from where I've been doing the Kafir
yeah,
in Infinity Board, just really thin bit, just to get the demarcation line, and then sort of backfill with the wider tape once I've got that in. I find that's the easiest way for me to do it.
I think
It's a really, really useful tool, isn't it?
Well, them Infinity boards are brilliant. If you think about it, they could do anything. So, yeah.
it's something
Well,
that's
very
so simple,
guys,
but actually works really, really well. That's the thing, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's a simple concept. It just grooves on a board. I'm surprised no one did one years ago, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I might need to get one eventually.
They are just, they're so useful. It's definitely one to have in your tool set, isn't it? Really.
If you get, because I've got the AK version of it, and I think they only do those two, don't they?
Yeah.
They just.
But Infini actually do 4. They've got 4 in the set, and there's one with like big wide curves on it, and another one with like I think it's triangles and squares.
Yeah, well, this is the ones I've got here. I've got 2 circle ones because it goes with that one.
So
You've got the A, which is the straight one. You've got the B, which is circles, diamonds, and grids. And then you've got C, which is radials and things. And then you've got D, which again is a multitude of different diamond patterns and various things. But also you've got quite nice ones here as well for doing, you know, circles and, you know, offset ones, ovals and stuff like that, which are quite handy for masking panels.
Say something. If you're doing like a P47 with a checker front cowling, my God, that thing's a godsend, isn't it? To actually get, you know,
A
the
good
right
example
size
of this
spears
one is where you've got the anti-glare panel
Yeah.
in black. The actual bottom of the windshield is green.
Yeah.
You've got that curve on it,
Yeah.
which could be really difficult to mask off. But I used one of the what is it? This one, where you can see the remnants of it on there. Used the circuit cutter to cut a semicircular bit out, and it fitted lovely, worked brilliantly. So they're not cheap, but they're one of those things that are well worth it once you've got it.
Yeah, I feel
To be
like
honest,
it lasts forever, won't it?
Like I said, the AK ones, I think we sell them for when they're in stock, to be honest, but for like 20 quid. Well, you think the amount of use that's going to get for 20 quid, I think it pays for itself within a few models, to be honest, or it could do, because you can make canopy masts out of that.
Yeah.
Dead easy. You know, triangles and squares, you can pretty much make, you know, most shapes, can't you? Especially with triangles. So it's a must-have for your toolkit. I think if you ain't got one in your, especially if you're an aircraft model, I think it's more akin to that. I think, and probably ships if you're doing sort of them sort of lines, and tanks and stuff. Well, it's just useful for anything. So.
In chat, James says, "Oh, Andy's finished a plane." That's my fourth one this year.
It is in June.
That's it. We're only halfway through the year.
That's not bad.
What's you drinking? Wait, what are you drinking?
Me?
Sheppies again.
Oh, him, look. Sneaky drinking he is. Sneaky alky in the corner. I suppose it's not in a paper bag.
What's he?
Nice couple of Sheppies vintage.
Oh, that's last week's then, is it? Vintage
It's
Sheppies.
stronger than your non-alcoholic shandy, Matt.
Well, I know, but we've
It's
got
baby sham.
It is, yeah. Hey, I've got a nice glass though, look.
Yeah. I'll give you that.
Very nice. Right, okay, so another one from Alex, which is this one, which is quite funny. He noticed this on Facebook. Anyone built the Sea Fury trying to work out the colours of the undercarriage bays? If anyone would be appreciated. Look, I like the way he said, I have a rough idea, but more input would be good.
5 comments, and I bet they're all different.
Yeah, that's it. He's got 5 comments of different things on there. Okay, so Mark says, hi Phil and team. First off, I want to thank you all, the PM models, for such a great service. Took delivery of my Challenger 2 yesterday. So I cannot thank you enough for the quick delivery. Luckily, I had a work colleague who is an ex-Challenger crew member. So I'll be picking his brains during the build. Have you ever noticed, is it just me, but, you know, like for instance, obviously I've spoken to a lot of air crew, and I've got friends of mine are pilots as well, and I ask them technical questions and they're like, I don't know, I'll just fly it.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, I'll just drive it. I don't know how it works. I wouldn't know. Yeah. You know, literally that's the answer I get. I say, what colour is? And they're like, I don't know, grey. I don't take any notice, and it's like, you should know, you're on it all the time. I said, yes I know, but I sit in it and fly it, or I sit in it and drive it. I don't take any notice what colour it is. I'm not that worried. And it's like, brilliant, you're useless. Can you get me a photo? Unless they're a modeler, they don't care.
I was asking Andy about what the back of a Warrior is like, and he just said it's horrible and it's hot and it makes him sick.
Yeah,
that's it. But
seriously, I can't even remember what colour they are inside.
Yeah, but you probably have more other things to think about rather than looking at it.
To be honest, he was looking between his feet, between his knees, throwing up.
Yeah.
So yeah, vomit colour, I'd imagine, wouldn't they? Or your one was.
Yeah, I can't.
I bet you've got no idea at all, have you?
No.
They're either, isn't it? They tended to be, wasn't it, like that funny grey colour or that sandy colour.
I can't
Yeah,
remember.
113s were that sort of thingy, but like other ones, it was just that grey crappy colour, isn't it? Like Admiralty grey crap that they spray everything with.
Admiralty grey.
It is. It's that colour they stick for everything, isn't it?
Hey, was you Warriors a lot?
Yeah, a fair amount. Yeah, we were mechanised infantry. Yeah, that's what we used. So yeah.
Okay.
Horrible things. Can I just quickly just put my overhead on?
Oh god, here we go. He's going to screw up everything now. Now what's he done? Oh, one job. There he goes. It's all right.
David was asking a question on the forum about circle cutters. But he's got the round one and I've got the square one. And for the square one, you can buy this little locator jig that you basically use that to determine where you want the centre of your circle to be. You put that up there and then you use your locator. And then that basically fits in with your circle cutter to be able to allow you to get proper concentric circles. Yeah, it's still not brilliant, to be honest with you. Still hard work.
But it's still no good if you got the version like I've got, the cheap one, which doesn't have the extra
Yeah, exactly.
bits.
Yeah, well, that's what he's got the round one, which doesn't work with this. But
Yeah.
you still have to make sure that your blade's in exactly the same orientation when you're going around. Because if you've got your blade on a slightly different lineup, it's all right. It does it differently. It's all it takes a lot of messing around, I think, to try and get them right.
Can I ask you a question about that? Because I've not really seen one of that. Is that actually both-handed, or is that right-handed turn, or can you make it left-handed, or what? Because obviously me, Nathan, and John here being lefties, we'd go that way.
Yeah, no, it goes in either direction because the blade is floating.
Is it a floating blade?
No. Well, there's an arrow on it that tells you just spin it one way.
Does it? Jesus, yeah. I've never taken it. I go both directions sometimes.
So you can see the arrow just here, but it just says one way.
But the blade is a floating blade, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't see what. Yeah, because the blade would just spin round, surely, if you did it the other way around. But yeah, don't see what difference it makes. But
the hardest part I found with mine when I've used it is getting the correct depth of the blade, because you just want it literally hardly touching. Otherwise, it's ending up cutting through your cutting mat at the same time, so it's sort of wasting its time. And it's digging in far too much. So setting the height of the blade, because you've got a little spring thing on the top, so it still pushes off, but you want enough in there, and it's getting it to the right point. Once it's in there, it's fine, but every time you put it in, it changes it, so you need to set it up all the time.
Sounds a lot of hard work.
I think I'll stick to a compass cutter.
Yeah,
it's definitely
does
better
do it
than a compass cutter.
Yeah, because I've used it quite a few things for different masking jobs in the past now, for wheels and stuff like that. But I just find it just takes a little bit of, you're never going to get it on the first attempt. Put it like that. It's a couple of tries.
One thing I do find is that I can never seem to get the scale. I mean, you'd imagine if you're on the one, which is 10 mil, is that a 10 mil circle or is it a 20 mil circle? So it's twice the diameter. But then you sort of move it halfway. It doesn't equate to half the size of the circle, if you know what I mean. Yeah, the sort of like the scale doesn't seem to. I don't know whether it's. I don't know. There again, that's moving around a lot. So the little thing
like
we do.
Tim's saying about it's basically a spring that holds it. I know, but the thing is, you don't want it pushing in too far, because all it's doing is cutting through your cutting mat for no reason whatsoever. So I tend to just have it enough to go through the tape. I usually do it on my cutting mat, but I have it enough to penetrate obviously the tape, but not to really cut any further into the cutting mat. Otherwise it's sort of defeating the object. So that's why I try and set the height of it just so it does enough, and also I find it's a lot cleaner cut. If you end up going through the cutting mat, it's really tearing it through it instead of nicely cutting it. So but again, a couple of attempts with it, and a little bit fiddling around, but I used it when I did the Gladiator. A couple of times, did all the wheels masking with it and stuff like that, and it worked a treat. So
but I think this type's definitely easier to line up using a locator than the circle one. Sort of.
Everybody I've spoken to who's tried that locating thing says it doesn't work. It's not accurate enough to give you, like, for doing circles, even using that locating thing. I've never known anyone to say, I've got it, it works to treat, because for some reason it just doesn't.
To make it work properly, you need to have that clamped to your desk. Because
that thing's got a non-slip back on it anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's still not. I mean, it still doesn't take much to move it at all. You know what I mean? So it's not exactly. Don't know.
Foolproof.
Yeah.
Keith says about using it on the back end of an fitting mat, it doesn't blunt the blade. Surely it would, because that's rock hard. Because I could do all my photo etch cutting on the back of one of these Infini boards because they're so hard.
Wasn't it easier to just do circles on your Infini board?
Well, you could do, but to be honest, trying to do that isn't that easy. Or you could just buy a sheet of circles of various sizes.
Yeah.
Or just buy a mask set.
Do you remember that tool? I think I've got one. I bet we both bought one, and it was like. It was for making circles. It was like I'm trying to think. It had a floating blade in it.
Yeah, I know, that wiggly shape thing, and because it had a floating blade, so you could just do anything with. Yeah, I couldn't get on with that either.
Yeah, I was going to say absolutely useless.
Do you mean?
Got one.
And you've got everything.
That thing.
No.
It
was like a blue thing, but it was an S shape.
That one.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
You ever used it, Andy?
No.
No, because it's covered in dustlet.
Was that one? I got that one as well for doing it as well.
Jesus, what's that for? Acne?
Just a good one. You hold it like that,
Oh, right.
so you can actually use it like a pen, and it's got like like I said, a floating blade on it. So that moves around, and goes around, follows the contours.
Okay.
Mm.
Different.
Yeah, but then buy an infinity board, and you can just cut small
Yeah.
bits and do it anyway. So
Short scalpel blade, you're well away.
yeah,
Anyway,
so they do come in nice boxes.
that's it.
Anyway, somehow we just got completely off the track. So this part of the question was, my question is for you with the Challenger kit. Any idea if there's any further aftermarket parts due out for it? Thinking mostly about the replacement for the gun barrel.
No idea. I don't
Obviously,
know.
they've done the up armour for the. If you're into photo etch, you'll love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I must admit, I haven't heard of anything else coming along for it.
No,
It's a
because
bit early, isn't it?
I'm about to say, do you know, for like the other Challenger kits, I don't think there's ever been a barrel made for them, has there? I can't recall anybody doing it.
Not
like
for
the Tamiya
Rifles.
kit, or I think because it's quite a thingy shape. It's not just a,
Not just a
it's
metal
not just a
tube.
barrel, is it? If that makes sense, it's a bit more complex. So, I mean, the only other thing is perhaps if somebody does a resin one,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I've not heard anything anyway. So,
And the kit's only just come out, so there's usually about a month, isn't there, before the aftermarket.
yeah, before Edward start jumping on it. But yeah.
Okay, Steve says, hi Phil and team, 2 questions. Can I spray LP11 over Vallejo primer without any ill effects? Yeah, as long as it's totally dry, you'll be absolutely fine. Is there, and 2, is there a problem spraying the top half of an aircraft in Tamiya acrylics and the bottom half in LP1? I was wondering if there was a problem where the 2 types of paint meet. As long as they're dry, or one of them's dry, obviously before the second one goes on, and if you're using lacquers, as long as you don't tip it on it so it's really wet, because otherwise it will eat into the other surface and you might get a reaction. But if you do the thing like I always say about put a little dusty coat on first, let that dry and key a little bit just for a few minutes, then come back in and give it another type of coat, which is enough probably to cover it. Let that dry for a few minutes, then you can come in with a wet coat and you'll be absolutely fine, because it won't then be able to get through the other coats and get down to the actual softer acrylic paints. But as long as you're not flooding it down so it's literally dripping off of it, you should be absolutely fine. Is that right, Matt?
It's absolutely spot on.
Why,
Yeah,
thank you.
well-
Yeah. Why, thank you, kind sir.
You're welcome. Yeah, no, as long as they're dry, you're absolutely fine.
Yes.
Totally. Yeah. No problem.
To be honest, I mix and match all the time now with lacquers and acrylics and stuff, and B17 would be a classic because I'm not going to prime that traditionally with primers. I'm just going to give it a coat of X1, so that would be acrylic right the way over it, and then it might have lacquers straight over the top of that. And again, it's one of those where, as long as you're not just putting it on so it's dripping off of it, you'll be absolutely fine. Normally what happens is if you put like acrylics down and they're still soft, and then you put like a very heavily thinned lacquer as well on top, so it's basically all thinners, it will eat straight through, and then you'll find it'll blister and bubble up and it goes horrible and all the rest of it. But as long as they're dry, you should be absolutely fine with it. I've had no ill effects thus far.
No.
So yes.
Should be good.
Brian says, Phil and team, this is a busy time of the year for me, and it does not seem likely that I will be able to finish my Latin American build by the end of the month. I really want to finish and continue the build on the forum. What happens to unfinished threads for group builds and SIGs after the deadline? Will they be able to continue? No, they're all shredded.
They're deleted.
Deleted forever.
Gone.
And you'll get shunned then for not finishing them. Or what we usually do is they just get moved to the usual work in progress. What happens literally is when it's shut, you might get a couple of days because I have to go in there and sort them all out and everything else like that. But literally it will be moved. So if you've built an aircraft 1/72nd scale, it will go into like jet aircraft 1/72nd scale. If it's a prop, it will go into prop aircraft. If it's armor, it will go into armor 1/35th or whatever it is. And then you can just carry on with it. But normally I lock it just for a couple of days, just until I've got it all in place. Sometimes, admittedly, and you guys are very good at telling me when I've done it wrong, you'll say, why have you put my whatever it is? It's because I ain't got a clue what one is. So I'm guessing, you know, so I thought it sounded like an aircraft and probably a tank. So I've put it in the wrong one. Just then let me know and I'll put it into the correct category. Some group builds are a lot easier, but when it's a general and it could be anything, literally anything, then it's a bit hard. Like the MiG-SIG, that was easy. I just had to work out the scale. You know, 72nd jet, you know, because there was only about, I think, 5 or 6 props in the entire lot, so that was a doddle to do. But when it's a bit of different things of everything, civilian cars and stuff like that, then obviously it goes in. Then what happens is I will take everybody's completed photos. I then chuck them through my gallery program, and it puts your name with it and all the bits and pieces, and then obviously usually a week or two afterwards, then that will be shown on a Friday show with it as we make our way through. So yes, sorted. And then obviously group build to get your medals. Once we've done the final count, I have a word with my man. He sorts and gets all those done for us. It's a local company. He's a one-man band, so it takes him normally a couple of weeks to sort it. I don't even know if he's open at the moment, to be honest, so I don't know how that'll work. But obviously that's SIGs. There's nothing like that. It's just the video and stuff. So, but it should be fine. All be good.
Also, don't forget at the end, towards the end of the year, we've got the shelf of Doom.
Yes.
SIG. So if you've got anything that you haven't finished and you haven't got time to carry on with it, so like, you know, you could wait till the end of the year and finish it off. As part of the Shelf of Doom SIG.
Resurrect it.
Resurrect the build. Yes, you can pop that up then. Also, next week, 10th of June, is the first anniversary of me joining the forum, and I would like to thank all the members here for making this a positive and friendly environment. I've been far more adventurous and the things I've tried since joining. So here's to more great years. Thank you to all. No problem at all, and welcome. I must admit, I think it's our 20th birthday this year in October.
That sounds like an advert for a swingers club.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I haven't read many adverts for swingers clubs, but if that's what they sound like, that's fine.
That's just me then.
I'll tell you the advert I do like at the moment, and it was actually on our video on Friday, is the man grooming one. Have you seen that?
Man
No.
I've seen various people advertising it on their channels, but
yeah, you want to watch the advert? It's actually really funny. You know, so yeah, it's for man grooming. It's a non-cutting shaver, but yeah, it's quite funny. I must admit, it's, you know, it's one of those ones where I actually watch the advert. Never normally you just go skip after 5 seconds, but actually watch the entire thing. So yes, but I think it's our 20th anniversary in October. So it'll be 20 years of Flory models in October.
That's got to be worth a party.
Yeah, I was going to say. I'd say it'd be PM's 3rd one in September, isn't it?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
It's long already.
That's flown.
Yeah, I know. Mind you, it doesn't feel like I've been sat here for 20 years either, although probably have actually. Digging with bags under the eyes, definitely. Right, Graham says, would you consider doing a bite size on bare metal foil, mask sets and any other such items? Yes, I've got lots of various things down, and to be honest, I got it upstairs, and I was scribbling it the other day. A lot of what we get asked a lot on these questions I'm going to cover as those. So if anybody's got any ideas for bite-sized stuff, it doesn't matter if it's a 2-minute video or a half-hour video, let me know. Because totally open to suggestions, because what I'm going to try and do is have a half a day somewhere along the week where I do bite-sized videos. So, you know, that's the whole point to it. So when we get questions and they come up like this, I can just direct people to the video on it, because sometimes it's a lot easier, and obviously you get the same question appears a lot. So like bubbles in your colour cup, I've done it, I just need to edit it. So I've got one of my airbrushes, fiddle with it to make it do it, and then show it, and then show how to fix it talk quickly about why it does it, and then that's it. I think the video is only going to be about 3 minutes long, but with the amount of times we get asked it, hopefully it'll be one of those where we can literally, you know, sort out these things and get people in the right direction so they don't have to keep asking the questions. But yes, no, something like that. But bare metal 4 for masking, yeah, we can do one on that, and for using masklets and things and all of those, that's good. Gavin says you can celebrate with a 20% off sale. Oh, thanks. Is that it? Does this mean that in, like, if we go another 20 years, it'll be like the 40% off sale? And I'll pay you to take it when I'm like 90 years old and frail here with like
models can have a
Alzheimer's,
3% sale.
Parkinson's and everything else sat here. I'll look like Wayland off of bloody Wayland Industries when he's like 110.
Hey, we'll have 3% price rise.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, that's what we want to do.
PM models. Hey, talking to PM models, go on.
What? Hold
It's
on.
advert time.
It's advert time. Hold on. Commercial break. Shall I put the thing up for it?
Yeah.
Hold on. I got a button for it. Look.
These are now in stock.
Oh, look.
Look.
New arrivals.
New
Yay!
arrivals. We have a button now on my little pad.
Yay! Lysanders are in. Andy. Lysanders are in, Andy.
Like Andy,
Oh,
did
yeah.
you buy yours from PM stores, Andy?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's something, isn't it? When your own employee buys it from the competition.
He told me they couldn't get them anymore.
Yeah, but don't listen to what he says. He doesn't know.
I didn't at the time.
And about 3
Yeah, the
hours
information
later,
was correct at the time when he told you.
Yeah.
It just changed 10 minutes after you bought it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so look,
Yeah.
anyway, the long-awaited Lysanders are back in stock. £25.99. And we've got the ICM Dornier DO217J, 1.5. It's a J and a half for £45.99. And Andy's favourite plane. Are you going to build it, Andy?
What, the 108?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks fantastic kit, I must admit. I'm looking forward to getting one of them.
Good, because we can watch you build it then. So yes, and the Sea Gladiator's in, everyone. So if you fancy doing a really nice biplane, seriously, you can't go wrong with Gladiator. I love that kit. Beautiful little kit. Works really well. And Andy's got something to show. Look, he's got his next project there. Look, 262.
262 is my next one that I'll be starting tonight, hopefully.
Oh,
Great chance.
so why did
Can
you
I
go with
just-
that kit?
Say again, sorry.
Why did you pick that kit, the Hobby Boss one?
It's fair, I've had it in the stash for ages and
Oh,
it was cheaper than the Tamiya one.
fair enough. You could do it
So
side by
half
side,
the- half the
Tamiya
price of
versus
the
Hobby
Tamiya one.
Boss.
It's
It's still a nice kit for. For the boss. Can I just say something? Do you know on the advert for the Lysander,
Yes.
Yeah.
you put Mark 3.
Mm.
Half of them are actually Mark 1s in it.
So should we be putting Mark 1/3, or should it be
Yeah.
Mark 1/2? We forgot the slash.
Yeah, there's no. Yeah.
Do we
Just
need
looking
to
through, 'cause it
edit
looks like you
that,
say Mark
Andy?
3 on the box you see, and I was like looking through the instructions, and it says like half of them are Mark 1s.
Yeah, but Mark 1 Lysander and a Mark 3 are different aircraft. And as far as I know, that one in that box is a Mark 3, and here we go, people are buying Lysanders.
Is that what it is? Everyone's buying a Lysander now.
That's it, Lysander. That's what he meant. Just to let everybody else know, the order is in for the B-26s. I put the order in yesterday to our friends in Germany, so hopefully they'll be with us in the next week or so. So everybody who pre-ordered, that pre-order is shut, and after tonight, after this show, the P-38 pre-order for the Tamiya kit will be closed. If you
Yes.
definitely want one, you need to put it in before we end.
Yeah.
But like I say, as soon as this show finishes, that is shut.
Yes.
So thank you everybody for your pre-orders. Been
Yes,
well-
it helps us out by doing the pre-orders because we get an idea of how many we need. Because otherwise, we've been stung in the past where we've literally thought, well, yeah, because obviously it's just me and Matt and Andy as well, and we're like, right, how many do we need? And then Matt comes up with an idea, I come up with an idea, and Andy, and we usually fudge it, and then you lot turn around and we've said, oh, I don't know, maybe 10, and then we have an order for 50. So it's like, brilliant. Where are we going to find 50 from? So by doing the pre-orders, we know how many to get in. So it does make things a lot easier from an ordering point of view.
So if we'd let Andy pre-order these P38s then...
Yeah, we'd have 5.
It'd have been about 3, yeah.
I was going to say, we'd fed that many.
Yeah.
But no, it's been good. So, and we're going to dig out some more, aren't we, Andy? We're going to dig out some more stuff to put up. That's,
Yeah, Chris, the P38H is the one from Tamir, yeah.
Yeah, the limited edition.
The very limited edition one, peeps.
Yeah, the one you don't want to build.
I was going to say, literally, I'm not going to build it. As I said before, I'm not really a fan of the aircraft, but I am going to sit on that kit. Hopefully lots of people will build it, that's the thing.
It's one of them where you have to buy 2 so you can build one and keep one.
Well, yeah, there is that option. Here's one for Andy. What company is your Kafir? And that's John as well.
They're both AMK.
AMK, yeah. Mine's the 72nd one, John's is the 48th one.
Unfortunately, AMK don't do a 30-second, or I might have joined in. Just to, like, gazump them.
I'd honestly say get the 48th one, not the 72nd one. I think it's...
Do the 30-second Kafir.
Hold on, John. There we go. Does anyone do a 30-second Kafir?
Not that.
There's one coming out. Somebody's going to do one. I've got a feeling it's kinetic. I think.
All right. I must admit, years ago there was a conversion, wasn't it, for the Mirage 3 to the Kafir?
Yes. Yeah, that'd be Isracast, wouldn't it?
Isracast, yeah.
A proper modeler could modify a Italieri,
Yeah.
couldn't they? And
They could.
Big build, isn't it?
Yeah. No, somebody is bringing one out in 30 seconds, I know, but I can't think which manufacturers I've got. Like I say, my gut feeling's kinetic, but I'm not 100%. But yeah, don't rush off to the PM store because we ain't got any AMK. We're waiting for another batch from whoever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan said he's got the Israeli cast conversion for it.
Yeah.
I must admit, I like Isracast. A lot of people give them a lot of flack. Nope, someone's forgot.
Someone's got your life.
It's alright, we'll drop her in it.
Yeah.
Hello, welcome to the live show. Okie dokie. Alrighty. That's alright. See you in a bit. Bye. Bye. It's alright. Someone just finished their shift. What time is it? She's out early.
Time, 20 late.
Yeah. Right, yeah, I must admit, Isracast stuff. Yeah, people give them a lot of flack because it can be a little bit. I think a lot of it is more the colour they used to cast stuff in. It used to be that sort of funny grey white colour. But I've used their conversions a lot. I did my F-16 Supper. I used all the Isracast stuff on that as well, and it's actually pretty nice stuff. Do like it.
They're doing F4 Phantom conversion, don't they?
Yeah, yeah, and they do the books as well. They do a lot of books on obviously that stuff.
Yeah.
Books is it?
I tell you something I still can't get my head around is why Kinetic have dropped their 48 Suffer. I can't get my head around that because that is literally the only one. I know they're bringing out, is it a Surf, which must be the newer version, is it?
I don't know it. Yeah.
It's an F-16I, isn't it? I think we were discussing this last night.
Yeah.
And yeah, the thingy Suffer's gone. So yeah, I don't know. Bizarre decision, I think, because like I say, it's a good seller. It's one of them sort of
steady kits. Yeah.
Sell all the time. Yeah, it's a steady kit to sell because, like I say, it is the only one. So don't know.
Noah says, I bet he gets asked if he's got a boat every day. Anyway, hi Phil and team. I'm starting on my first backform kit. Any tips to help out? You were going to share about this, weren't you, Matt? About cutting out.
I've got nothing to do it with though. I did think the other week, wasn't it, when I was doing my building. I really just need a scribing tool, don't you? A sharp blade or just sort of a sharp, like one of them.
Yeah.
And then I've seen, because people do it with a sharper, you know, like mark round.
I always
Yeah,
mark
like
it.
Sharper, and then cut out and then sand it or do whatever. There's a few ways of doing it.
My
but,
advice is, because I've done a few over the years, is literally get a Sharpie or any type of marker and then mark it all the way round. And then if you like, I know other people do it, is they'll come in there with a bit of like tape, masking tape, and go around and they'll draw the precise line on it. And then allow yourself a little bit. Never go, because if you go too far in, it's really hard to come back from it, because that's the trouble with vac form. Okay, but you want to go to the outside and then cut it roughly out. Then you come in and go a bit nicer. Okay, and then the one where you go into that pen line, exactly where the line is, you sand it. You know, so, and also if you, depending obviously on the side, but sander blocks and sheets are really handy. I know people who have big parts like this and they're like, and go down with it and then rub it down, because you don't want to use a normal size sander because you can cause cups into it. So when you go to put like halves together, for instance, it's like that, you know, but you want a nice big flat area for flattening down. So obviously if you imagine like this was, you put it down and then just slide it up and down. So in some ways it's better to buy, like, you can buy big sheets of sanding paper, and then I know people who stick them down to boards and then literally for vac form do that with it. So you've got a nice perfect edge. So when you come with two halves together, you're like this. Could have been handy, to be honest, with these wings, because they're a bit like that, you know, and things. So I know, you know, resin, a lot of people with resin do it as well, but a big board, which is just all sandpaper, then you can just put the part down and then just sand it flat. So it's just for wings, fuselages and stuff like that. Smaller stuff, it's not so bad. If you're doing fuel tanks, I've done many fuel tank, which is vac form as well. That is recast. You can just pop them down on a sander, but if you're doing big things, you need something big on there just to make it all level all in one. That's how I go.
Nathan, show me what I gave you last week, or when I seen you a couple of weeks ago, because it gives us a life.
Before I use wet and dry paper and use it wet. It cuts down on all the dust.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like 600 wet and dry, big shit of that is it'll be good for sanding down, won't it? So,
whilst waiting for Nathan, Matt, John seems to think that Kinetic are bringing out the stuff with Israeli weapons.
ah, right, okay,
Reboxing it.
right.
Marcus says, do you know anything about the Kitty Hawk 48 Ural trucks? It comes in a twin pack.
No idea
I
what
didn't know about that. I didn't even know it was doing a
Yeah.
truck.
No, I don't.
And Roger says, is there a tutorial on pigments? He got his within 2 days thanks to the quick post.
No problem, Roger. Easiest one, to be honest, if you're into pigments in a big way, I've used them on lots of builds, but the big one would be if you're into armour, look at the Sherman. I did the Easy 8 Sherman. That's all pigments on that alone. Oh my God. Jesus, is he flobbing off his old crap on you, Nate?
He won it in a raffle.
Did he?
Yes, he did.
You martyr. Don't do it.
Yeah,
It's even got yellow clear parts for him.
yeah, the clear parts have gone completely yellow.
Yeah, they're pre-tinted, those. Because all aircraft had yellow windows in those days.
Oof,
Nice.
that's fun. I'm not building that tonight.
Where's my new box of tricks? If I go here and then we go there, I don't know if I've got pictures of it.
Just another quickie, Phil. Stefan said, do you guys know anything about the 30-second vegan from Jetmads?
Yes, yeah.
Yes, yes, we do.
Has there ever been a 30-second vegan for? Don't think I've ever seen one.
No.
I don't think there has one, but again, you get a lot of these companies put the CAD work out, but they never come out, do they? So until you actually see it
I think,
arrive in the
you know,
flesh.
again, this is definitely one of those situations where I would wait a little bit before you get too excited, because we've seen other companies say they're going to do these things. You see, like the CAD, this company has done stuff before, but it's been resin and 3D printed stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, you know, we haven't seen this type of thing from them before, and I'm not being funny, let's face it, the Buccaneer, you know, the new Buccaneer, that's gone very quiet these days. and that was Terang, wasn't it? And then they was on about a 30-second F111 and this, that and the other in 30-second, and they've gone off the radar completely. So it's nice these companies stick it out there, but I like to see it when it's in test shot form, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be resin, that big one.
Was it resin?
Hell of a lump.
Yeah, they a resin company.
Well, that's going to be a lot of money then, isn't it?
I don't think it'll be resin. They're on about making injection molded, aren't they? From what I've heard, this is going to be their first injection molded kit.
All right.
Which is, again, why I'm a bit worried. But, yeah.
It's
Speaking of...
certainly a big old lump.
Yeah.
Yes. Roger, if you go and have a look at this particular build, this is my Sherman. This is purely pigments. There's nothing else on that, including the base, because the mud at the bottom of the road is even pigments. So yeah, that's all the weathering was done with pigments on that. So it's a bit of a mess, to be honest. Lots of fun, but very, very messy doing it. But that is nothing but pigments on there. So we were trying to do that sort of, well, I was taking my cues really from Fury. This isn't supposed to be Fury, but it was the same type of work. It's got that wet, horrible, sludgy, yucky weathering on it. So that's what we were going for. But yes, it was just literally all pigments on that one, just to make it look a bit rank, which I think we succeeded.
Yeah.
Yep, the dog's going mad.
Matt will do a video tutorial on pigments one day, won't you, Matt?
Pigments, you know what? I don't really use them as much as I used to, but they do have the uses, like everything. I was saying I was doing some of the AK pencils. I was using some of them last night, and they've got the uses, as I was saying to Phil earlier, weren't we? We was having a bit of a chat. I think they've definitely got the place, but I won't want to fully weather something with them. I don't think they're designed for that. I think for certain bits and bobs they're good for, especially more the colours. The lighter colours seem a bit wishy-washy to me. The pigment that seems very strong. So
yeah.
Calvin's asking, does anyone know if there's an Avro Arrow available, kit available anywhere? Can't find anything apart from an old kit people are asking cheap money for anywhere.
Yeah, that's it.
I think that is it.
That is it, as far as I'm aware. The Avro Arrow,
Yeah.
that's equivalent to
Right.
our TSR2, an aircraft that never was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian's Hobbycraft, isn't it?
Hobbycraft Canada did one, but that's ancient, isn't it?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's ancient. Where are we? Adders says...
Hobbycraft, isn't it?
Who, what?
So did they do the? Is it a Canuck or something? Well, the one
Anyone
they
trying to...
built plane as well, and it got canned off as well.
You were saying how good his internet was today.
I know, I'll take it all back. I'll tell you what, it's quite sad really, because Matt's internet this afternoon, we've been online as well, you see, and he was absolutely razor sharp. You know, he's like Nathan sat there, and yeah, and now he's gone. I reckon Leslie's on Netflix.
This whole street's on Netflix all at once.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, it's all afternoon he's been absolutely razor sharp. And then now he's gone 8-bit again. Never mind. Yeah, look, it's like stop motion. But don't cut off because you'll screw up the image. He's fine. Right, okay, so Andy, or hi all and Andy, that's nice. Please could you advise on where to get the aftermarket bits and bobs from? We said about this, Hannants or Sprue Brothers are great resources because they list what's available. But also you Scalemates do it now, don't they?
Scalemates, yeah.
So literally you can just pop in what aircraft it is. So like the B-17, because that's how I found all my stuff. I just went to Hannon's, put the B-17, got the kit up, the kit comes up, and then underneath it they lift all the aftermarkets available for it, and then I just go along and go, don't need that, we don't worry about that, we'll get one of those, we have one of those, we have the barrels for it, so forth and so on. And that's probably the easiest way. Also, I wouldn't say just go out there and just buy it all. You take your cues from it, because now you've got all the part numbers, and that way you can just search the net for what you want. But it's a great way of finding, you know, the part straight away. Bobby says, hi all, question, the ink in my Molotov pen has lost its chrome look. It's now just silver. Is there a shelf life on the ink, and do I need to buy some refill? I apologise, it was already discussed before. Yeah, it's happened to me as well, but actually if you put a tiny little bit of lacquer thinners with it, it seems to make it rework. So that'll be the thing. So you've got two options. If you're using it like the pen, you can do like I did, wherever I just had it, because I've had it out here. Here it is. So this is why this is silvery on the bottom. This is literally put on here. If you come along with a little bit of lacquer, even though it's completely dry, do it. It'll rehydrate. It goes gorgeous again, and you can do it with a brush and just go it. I haven't actually put any in the pen yet. I just get a load out, put a blob on here, and then away you go, and it's great. But lacquer thinners, self-leveling thinners is what I put with it. It works absolute treat and just redoes it. But yes. Oh my God, Nathan's got his no.
Yeah, they're asking if Nathan finishes COVID build.
Oh, just needs a little bit more work.
You've got 3 weeks, Nathan.
I think I'm going to prioritise my Latin America group build.
Yes.
This thing, it's competing pressures, isn't it? I've got a new job, so that took loads.
Someone did ask earlier on what you're building at the moment and what you've got on the go.
I'm doing this F-16D Block 52, but I'm doing it in Chilean markings. So I mean, it got shelved with the Tornado video build, but it's here. It's ready for paint. So this is actually going to be painted in Humbrol, Tamiya acrylics, and Hataka. It's going to have all 3 types of paints on it. But I just want to. We promised ourselves at the start of the year that the team would all participate and finish something for all the builds, didn't we? So
yeah,
the Tornado I wanted to get finished. That's done now. So I'm going to go to the Latin build, and then for the Berlin one, I think I'm going to do a tank. A very small one in 72 scale. Well, this kit has been as bad as the Tornado kit, to be honest. Well, once it's together, it looks really, really good.
Again, because that obviously it's their early kits, shall we say, with Kinetic with those ones, and that one, as I say, it's the CJ, which the DJ, wasn't it, which was reboxed by Italy, I do believe, as well. It's the same kit, and it's got huge ejector pins on it in some really gnarly places. A lot of people at the time said it was a direct rip-off from the Tamiya kit, because the breakdown is incredibly similar, even on the sprues they look the same, but obviously the quality of the plastic isn't quite there. But like we were saying, Matt, earlier, they do all the ones you want. So they do all the European ones, and they do all the Israeli ones, and nobody else does them. And actually, if you put a little bit of work in, and the plastic's got a little bit of texture to it, so priming is essential and things like that, and a good rub down, it turns out really nice, as Nathan's now proving. Look.
Yeah, now it's like this.
Hmm.
I mean, I just like the F-16 for the dorsal spine, which no one else does.
Yeah.
But it was an hell of a kit to put together, if I'm honest. But it's because it's so modular.
Yeah.
There's 3 or 4 options for the nose. There's 3 or 4 options here. It's just.
I've got the Barkeet. Is it the Barkeet? Which is probably the same kit in its raw form, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's like that. If we went the other way and they tooled one version, they'd end up doing a C.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You take it. You take the pain along the way, but you get a decent F-16 out of it. So it'd be nice. This won't take too long to finish, and I think after that I've got to build a Mach 2 helicopter. And an in-flight tornado, haven't I, for your VC10?
Yes, I need the chicks in tow.
Yeah,
For the VC10. Hello, mate. You all right? Right, Angus says, hello all. I've just my first airbrush, coming off of Humbrol enamels and a paintbrush. I've bought some Hataka Redline for airbrush, but I was wondering if Humbrol paints, I really have, sorry, it's a bit tricky on this one. Humbrol paints I already have could be used. And should I phase out as it runs out, or would you just completely ditch the Humbrols and buy another paint as I need them? The thing is, you're going from enamels to acrylics as well, so that's quite a jump. We all take the mick, don't we, out of Humbrol, but the guys who do use it do say it sprays quite well. Actually, you can thin it. It's pretty good stuff. The downside to them are they take a while to dry, or can do. Has anyone tried it with rapid drying thinners yet?
Yeah, rapid thinners, it works quite well. It doesn't dry instantly, but it doesn't dry as quick as Attacker acrylics.
I've tried it with leveling thinners, and it sprays beautifully.
It does spray really well, but I'd say 30 minutes it's touch dry, but you want to leave it a bit longer than that really to mask and stuff. But they spray brilliantly with lacquer thinners. The rapid thinners, it goes as flat thing.
Yeah.
But it does spray.
So really what we're saying is that if you've got the paint there, you know, it may be a thing that if you've never tried things like, you know, the Tamiyas of this world and the guns type stuff, or the, you know, the Hatakas, you know, or anything else like that, you might want to give those a whirl. I wouldn't suggest ditching everything you got and going spending a couple of £100 on a paint range. I'm sure we'd love you to buy it from PM, clearly, but if you're not, then obviously perhaps as you run out of something like your blacks stuff, try it in something else and just see how you get on with it, because you are going from enamels to a lacquer or to something else. To be honest, like Matt was saying, the acrylic line from Hataka with the red ones, which are the pre-thinned ones, which I guess are very similar to Model Air, again, that's acrylic. So you've got different mediums going on there. Like acrylic, they dry quite quickly. They're quite easy to work with in the great scheme of things. Then you've got enamels, which, you know, there's nothing wrong with enamels. It just seems they've seemed to gone out of vogue these days. But normally that was a problem with drying times and stuff like that, because enamels are quite oily, so they take a while to go off. Then you've got lacquers, and then obviously when you step up to lacquers, they're beautiful to spray, they're easy to clean and all the rest of it, but they're a bit more smelly and stuff like that. But you know, you're into that ballpark where do you want to go? And it's very easy for us to turn around and say, right, go for Tamiya lacquers, or go for Hataka lacquers, or go MRP or something else like that. But you need to have a go with each paint to find out what works for you. So that's what I'm saying. Maybe with just your standard primary colours like the blacks of this world, the whites of this world, try them in the different manufacturers, have a spray with them, see how you get on with them. You know, if you find you quite like how Tamiyas work, then perhaps increase your range, and as your enamels die out, then go for it. Or perhaps if you're building a certain aircraft and it's like 3 colours, just get 3 colours of whichever one you choose to go with, and then have a go with those for painting that particular model, before just saying, right, ditch it and go along with something else. Because again, it can get expensive, and it is that thing, you know, where you are, your atmosphere, your airbrush, but a lot of it is down to your technique and style. Depends on which one will work best for you.
Yep.
Don't we think?
Yep.
It's definitely horses for courses. I mean, acrylics, the tip drying is the big bugbear for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the easiest paint to spray is Tamiya. Still, whether it's their acrylic or their lacquer range. But I mean, it is really horses for courses, isn't it?
I think that's the thing. Over the years, you know, a lot of people have, and I've had been criticised for it, is that, you know, obviously I was pushing, if you want to go back to 20 years, then obviously extra acrylics back in the day, because that's what I sprayed. But the reason I used extra acrylics is that they did all the colours that you could ever want, where most manufacturers, especially like Tamiya, they didn't do any modern type colours, or especially RAF modern colours, or US Navy colours, so you'd have to go through something else. And that was the thing then. Then I went over to Model Air, because they were, and in those days they had a very small range of paints, and to be honest their colours were a little bit iffy as well, so you sort of between using both manufacturers and stuff. And you know, at that point, as I say, 20 odd years ago, I had kids and I tried to be healthy and was moving out of the enamels, so I went into acrylics, and here we are into lacquers now and stuff. So but again, it's one of those that it's what works for you, and I'm really getting on well with lacquers these days. I enjoy how they work. I like the way they work, and they give me the results I'm after. So, you know, that's really what you want to do, is your style, your setup, what your environment you're in, so forth and so on. But I would suggest just having a go, you know, have a go with them, see how you get on with them. But I wouldn't suggest just ditching out, because it's expensive to do it, you know. At the end of the day, if you've got almost every colour, and then you want to replace it, it's going to cost you a good 300-400 quid to do that. Not a cheap thing, paints. That's the trouble. It's like $4.50 a bottle for some paints and more for others. It gets expensive to do it.
Can Matt just answer a question before we lose it?
Only if he does it, writes it down.
Can you answer a question, Matt?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
Well, yeah, I can answer a question then. I didn't think you could hear me, so.
Yeah. Hi guys, question for Matt, if I may. Since becoming a member of Flory Models,
Yeah.
let me just put my finger on it so I don't go. Since becoming a member of Flory Models, I've been obsessed with modern military jets. Now I'd like to take a crack at some armour, specifically tanks. Who makes the best paints and supplies for that area of the hobby, and what else would you recommend? I have had to model modern tanks that are in service but not ready to be scrapped. I hope you understand what I'm getting at. Thanks. I think he wants to do sort of modern.
Is that
Yeah.
real colours then?
I'd probably go for real colours, really. I mean, if we do modern colours, Attack do real modern colours as well in their range. So German, British, US. Depending on what you're modelling, sort of modern-wise, what country you're doing, because you know, and can probably guide you. Obviously, AK, the real colours, do the Russian sets, which is what Phil used on his Fuchs system.
Yeah.
So they are out there. It just, if you can shout up what your country you're modelling, or what are you modelling, and then, or you'd like to.
It's sort of a bit like what we're just talking about with paints. You know, you can't just choose one set of paints, can you? Because like you said, AK do the Russian stuff, but then Attacker don't really do Russian armour, do they?
No, they do
So
more
yeah,
NATO.
sort of like, mix and match what you're using, but
Yeah, they're all NATO really. So yeah, it depends. I think, like I say, the AK real colours do cover a wide range of countries.
yeah.
Like the US, I don't think they do modern British. I don't think they did World War II. But again, yeah.
We talked about it. What was it last week? We talked about Zvezda kits, where they come with link and length tracks rather than having individual tracks, which makes it easy, especially if like you're not used to doing tracks, because that can be a proper pain in the backside doing tracks. You know, if you're not used to doing them.
This.
Yeah.
The rubber band tracks. And they're perfectly fine for a Sherman because they are pretty taut anyway. It's if you want sag and stuff. If you're going for a T55 or they're quite loose. But a lot of the modern stuff is, like I say, these Shermans, and I think what else has got them. Do Abrams have quite? They have quite taut tracks.
Yeah, most of the
US
British
stuff,
and
yeah, I was going to say,
US
most of the
like
newish
that,
ones are like that anyway. The only stuff that's really old and rattly is like the World War II German and Russian stuff, wasn't it? And the
Yeah.
you know, but most modern stuff, it's pretty taut these days, isn't it?
Yeah. So again, look at the Tamiya range because they normally have like the rubber band tracks, which is a nice easy starting point. Yeah, just trying to avoid like and stuff. If you're definitely going down that route, like the teams that are quite complex builds, there's like.
I have a song about that.
John's got one, ain't you, John? He's 55 here, ain't you?
Rubber Band Man.
I said this copyright strike.
Ah, well, it's worth it. We get one every week. Hey, good strong, eh? Nothing wrong with the spinners.
Yeah. So if you were going to choose a kit to build, start off with, what would you choose?
A modern kit.
Yeah. I think there's a Vesicant
T90.
T90s, yeah, decent.
Yeah, or or deserterized chalet from
I was going to
Trumpet,
say, Tamiya.
or the Abram.
The Tamiya T55 in 48.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
That's
great.
out.
No,
Yeah, Trumpet Challenge is a bit rough, to be honest with you.
No,
To be honest, Trump does all those ones. The AS90's crap. It's a bit. Yeah. But yes, you know, say if you're getting into armour as well, it's one of those ones where you can't go wrong with the Tamiya 35th scale stuff, because most of their stuff's really, really nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is starting, definitely.
If you're starting out, you know, they're straightforward. You know, you're straight into it. Then you can obviously move on to your other ones. Yeah, you've got your Riffield models, which I think are probably top tier these days. You know, and stuff like that. But you say that Riffield Charlie's gorgeous. Looks it. Obviously, I haven't built it yet, but it looks really, really nice.
If you want the Lincoln length tracks, probably look at Svedster, innit? Because that's generally what they do.
Yeah.
That'd be a good choice, wouldn't it?
The Tamiya T62 is a bit rough. That's probably like their armour equivalent to the Sea Harrier, to be honest with you.
Thing is, that's really old, that kit, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because that has the motorised thing in
Yeah,
there.
it's one of the motorised.
It's one of the
with
motorised
holes
ones,
in it, yeah.
Who does the nice leopards?
Meng.
'Cause that's
Yeah,
a cool-
Meng, yeah.
Meng did the leopards. And also Hobby Boss. Hobby Boss actually do a lot of modern stuff, and they're nice builds. And I always forget about Hobby Boss, if I'm honest.
We were
but they
talking
do
about it the other
leopards.
day when I did the Merkava, because that was the Hobby Boss kit.
Yeah.
I think the German leopards have really cool camo, and those paints are easy to get hold of as well. They're in most ranges, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because I did the review of those. They used to do the 3-in-1 leopards as well. Because obviously you get the Canadian version, because they had the leopards as well, wouldn't it, and stuff. So
There's loads to go at, isn't there? They're quite well served in modern armour.
It's come a long way, because they never used to be anything. It's all German World War II and Shermans and whatever.
Yeah, that's one.
But yeah, there's loads now. There's absolutely tons of it. So
Pick a tank you're interested in. That's the best place to start, really, isn't it?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
And probably don't get sucked into a full interior kit.
Yeah, don't do that, because you'll lose the will to live in there. They're one of those kits you don't mind doing once, just to say you've done one, but I don't think I'll be rushing in to do another one. Right, okay, so Frank says, good afternoon team, what regards those Infini boards, there's a company here in the States called Micromark, and I do believe they sell all four, not the AK, but the true Infini. Yeah, it's a company called Infini. It's INFINI. They are, if I remember right, they're Korean.
Korean.
Yeah, because that's what mine are. Mine are the Infini boards. I haven't got the AK one, but you know, AK at the moment are going through this thing of just buying every company's stuff. So.
And they are definitely identical.
Oh, they are exactly, completely, 100% identical. Because we've actually done a side-by-side comparison.
Yeah,
They
in
are.
fact, they're both made in Korea as well.
Yeah, that's it.
They're made by the same company, and yeah, gotta be.
Apparently, Lion Roar do the Charlie 2 gun barrels. It's superb.
All right. Okay. There you go.
There you go. They were quick with that one.
Yeah.
Mark says that older armoured vehicles, Chieftain, 432 range, tend to be silver on the inside. And if you think about Andy's non-drying silver, well, it was obviously made by the same people. The only green tended to be the padding on the doors and cushions. etc. Modern vehicles are painted white on the inside. Lots of stories as to why one is shown up any spillages, others is that it's brighter for the troops inside for adding comfort. The Warrior is a mix. The floor tends to still be silver, and the turret is the green cushions are green also, except the big plastic toilet.
Somebody's
Sorry,
back.
someone's home.
Somebody's home.
Yeah.
Yes, hold on, I'll just mute myself a sec.
Yeah.
You'd be shot if you used the toilet.
So else, is there any more questions?
Yeah, hold on. It's all right. I hope they didn't hear that. There you go. Okay, so Richard says, "Hi, can somebody call me an ambulance?" Oh, hold on, this is 42 minutes ago. I've just stuck my hand to the desk with CA glue. Oh, I've done that one. Richard, I feel your pain. I've done exactly the same thing. Must be the 172nd Academy F18D that I'm doing. I'm amazed that 172nd being this good. The tool is from 2008, so the 172nd has to be this good for years already, not just a recent thing. Great show, guys. There is, I tell you, that's the whole point. It's what I've been saying for months now, is that everybody sort of faux past 72nd as being crap, and to be honest, 72nd, it's a new 48th. You know, and it's been like it for a few years now. There's some very good Nathan's an expert on it.
I've got the Fine Molds F14, and that's a beautiful.
Yeah.
Is it Fine Molds?
Yeah.
It's Fine Molds.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
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 Best thing about F72 scale, say F16, is it's not going to stay on your bench forever.
No.
You can move them on quite quick, or you can put tons of detailing because it is there with a bit of aftermarket.
Again, you know, one of the best F16s out there in 72nd, the Tamiya one, is like a mini me of the 32nd one.
Yeah.
It's a gorgeous kit. It's not cheap, but it is a beautiful kit.
My problem with 72nd is I've got sausage fingers.
Bad eyesight, arthritis,
Bad eyesight,
gets
yeah.
the shakes.
Thing is, over here in the UK, 72nd used to be the scale, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just
Yeah.
say,
80s.
They call it the gentleman's scale, don't they?
Yeah. I like 72. I'll be glad to
Yeah,
go
I've got
back.
right into 72 scale. Look,
yeah.
If
does this
it-
count?
I'm looking forward to doing a tornado to go on the back of that. Nice to go back to 72.
Yes. No, good stuff. Yes, so definitely don't rule out 72. Okay, John says, I hope you've, anyway, debonded yourself. Don't forget, it's why we always keep debonder to hand. Because, as I say, I've still got scars from mine. So, good evening, gentlemen. Hello from Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey. I was just making sure I read that correctly. It's around 32 degrees here and humidity outside today. Good, very nice. Is there anyone on the site or you guys know that could do a demo on how to make water effects?
I'm not quite there yet, I have to say.
Out.
There's loads of tutorials on YouTube on how to do it though. But yeah, it's not something I've tried. I've tried a few puddles. I think that's as far as my water effects have gone. But to be honest with you, some of them look absolutely stunning that I've seen. And I've got, I think AK do a book on it of ice and water. You know, the diorama book that I've got, the big one. They do an offshoot of, and how to do water and stuff. So, but again, yeah, there's loads of tutorials up on it. Tell you use it a lot. The wargaming guys for their terrains. So if you look up them rather than put dioramas in, you'll find loads of tutorials through them. But you need the terrain guys, not just the guys who do the figures and stuff.
It's such a massive, different sort of varying subject, though, isn't it? Because you can have anything, like you say, you can have anything from puddles to a stream, to a river, to a waterfall, to an ocean, you know, with waves, and you know, each one sort of like its own little different sort of like way of doing it, isn't it? So
I'll tell you what I
Yeah.
do like. I like the guys who work in the resin. So
Yeah,
they'll
I was
put
just
a
gonna say-
submarine with a couple of
Yeah.
bits in it of like ships sinking, and that's clever when they do that. Because let's face it, when you're pouring that resin in, you're committed.
Yeah, that's
You
a
can't do
one-way
it twice, can you? So that's assume you pour your resin in and it all crazes. So your submarine's no longer visible. What'd you do? Chisel it off, sand it off of your ship once it goes rock hard. How'd you get around that?
I think
Who
the
was
other
it?
thing as well. Sorry, I think the other thing with the resin as well is the bubbles,
Sorry about that.
because they get like blowtorch to pop the bubbles.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
That's that. Yeah, to get it all smooth, and then they use there's like, oh god, I can't think what it's called, but they use this paint to make it, you know, like waves and ripples and stuff. Mod Podge.
Mod
They
Podge,
use
yeah.
Gloss Mod Podge, but there's also like AK do some, Vallejo do some, different ranges in there for sort of the water effect. So it's like looks like moving water. And then the foam as well. You know, if you're doing a sea thing, you're doing waves. There's loads of like I said, tutorials. I know AK's done a few on their site, and I think Vallejo's on theirs as well. to be
Yeah,
honest.
Christopher said he did a decent seascape once, and he followed a Vallejo tutorial on YouTube.
Yeah. It's pretty
Someone did
straightforward.
a PT boat as a group build once, didn't they? I can't remember. Once it turned it on the forum, and it was like all the waves coming off the bow and everything. That looked good.
Well, Tiggs a couple of years ago did a lifeboat, didn't he, with a wave breaking over it.
Yeah,
Yes.
That was a good
Yeah,
one.
did he win out for that?
No, he got kicked out, didn't he? Because apparently he didn't. we was on about it the other week.
Oh,
weren't
that
we?
was it.
He
Yes.
got disqualified because he put it in a out of the box build, and apparently the wave didn't count as out of the box. So he got booted out of the category or something. So yeah, because the wave wasn't out of the box. This massive acrylic wave coming over the boat, and yeah, so he got disqualified or something. So
I was gonna say that was at Telford, wasn't it?
it was at Telford, yeah.
Oh, you'd be proper annoyed, wouldn't you?
Well, that's what we've been saying about it, though, isn't it? You could pull your hair out doing that.
Just a bit.
you think they just take the benefit of the doubt and move them into another section if it was in
Yeah,
another section.
well, that's what I've
Yeah.
always said, but apparently it's not judges' stuff to do that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, they've drawn a hard line on that, haven't they?
The thing is, though, it takes the judge.
yeah, I know. Don't ask.
True, yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Adrian says, get Matt to do a bite size on masking without a mask set. Yeah, I agree.
Oof.
That'll
Wow.
never happen.
I've got my red on, and I could do a nice sign, but I won't. You know, the thing from Adam's family might just appear in a minute.
Yes, that's it. Jason says, hi guys, I'm after a decent webcam. I remember there's a particular one that you look out for in Amazon sales. Could you please tell me the model so that I can look out for it when it comes up on sale?
Logitech
Yeah.
It is.
C290.
Yeah.
Yeah.
CT90.
It
Buy
is.
those.
At the moment, you can't buy them for love nor money because the
They are
world
out of
bought
stock
the
at the
entire stock of them instantly.
Yeah.
So at the moment, you might struggle to actually get hold of one. I don't think they'll probably come up on Amazon sale because normally they sit on a warehouse full of them. This little box of tricks, I've been waiting for it for absolute weeks to come back in because again, anything to do with streaming, webcams, capture cards, stuff like that have just gone mental, absolutely off. Apparently Elgato sold the equivalent of 3 years worth of stock in 1 month. And they're obviously the primary stuff for the gear that I use for everything, for capture cards and for that, because everyone's just using them at the moment.
Might be
So-
some deals on the used market once lockdown.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, you might be able to pick them up second-hand cheap though. But yeah, the C920 is the sort of go-to. It's really old. It's like 10 years old now, that webcam, isn't it? And they've never really updated it. There's other versions you can pay a fortune for it, but this one, if you look around, you get it for around about 40 quid. But say normally they're like 80 quid, but nobody ever pays full price. You just wait for them to come up on offer.
Yep.
You can't really do much more than 1080
hello.
anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Live streaming, so it's pointless having a 4K one when you can't use it anyway. So you might as well just have a decent 1080. And these ones, I mean, I've got 3 of them, exactly the same models, and we've all got the same ones, haven't we? So think Phil's got a couple, haven't you? Matt's got a couple.
Yeah.
Nathan's got a couple.
Yeah.
John's got some.
To be honest, I was talking to Matt about this earlier, and the thing is, if you, well, I say not now, but the world is changing with webcams anyway. A lot of new cameras coming out now, you can just plug into your computer. Most of the Canon ones, if you've got quite a lot of money, but the high-end Canon ones now, they've done a free software upware in the firmware, so you can just plug it directly into your computer and use it as a webcam. They've got a clever bit of software. Funny enough, none of mine do, but yeah, if you've got the, I can't remember why I wanted it upstairs, but the newer version, they will work now just off of it. You download this software update, and it will just you can plug it in and off you go. But there is cameras now generally coming out. Canon's just releasing one that's coming out, which is USB-C straight to your computer, and you can use it as a webcam. It's the future.
It's the future.
They'll be all 4K and 50 frames a second, don't they? So.
Well, this is it.
It's definitely the future.
Robert says, hi Phil and team. Look, Andy's off now to see if one of his cameras will work as a webcam. I'll send you the link to it. If you go on to oh god, I can't remember the site now, but anyway, they've listed all the cameras that are compatible. But if you go on to Canon's website, they've got a list of all the ones and the drivers that you do off to it to do the conversion for it. But funny enough, none of mine are, because I've got the cheaper ones, to be honest. But if you've got the more expensive ones, they all do it. Okay, so 2 questions. Do you know where I can get the CFTs for an F15 in 1/48 scale? I'm planning on building an F15C with them. Why would you put CFTs on a C? They don't fly with them ever. Because if you put CFTs on an F15, it can't carry weapons on its belly, the 4 AMRAAM stations or Sparrow stations. Are you planning on doing something with it? As far as I'm aware, they never flew with them. They're capable of it, but never did it.
Make it into an E.
Well, a C wouldn't be an E though, would it?
No.
So it'd have to be a B or a D.
I don't know what's going on there then.
Okay, so also what kit are you after for it? Because again, there may be differences with shape making it fit on. I might be able to help you out because Andy had my cockpit, which he never used. And I've got an E here without a cockpit. So I might be able to help you out because I've actually got the kit still. I've got the Revel F15E.
It's here. It's still ready to be done. But
So, because Andy broke his cockpit. I'm also playing with the idea of adding a regulator to control the fan speed of my bench vent 300 to make it quieter. I don't need the full extraction capability. Do you think it was damage to the motor?
You'd have to email them and ask.
Yeah, I would speak to them because don't forget that will probably invalidate your warranty on it. As I say, I would give Bench Vents a bell and see what they say. They're really good people. They're very easy to talk to. I will send them an email and ask them. I'm pretty sure it would invalidate your warranty. My worry would be if you're spraying, like for instance, if you're spraying as you should be at your filter, if you've turned it off and it's not drawing 100%, it's going to be bouncing it back off and you're sort of defeating the object. You want it to hit the filter and get sucked straight through it. You know, you don't want it to be sort of, you know, there's not enough draw where it's hitting it and coming away. So I'd be, yeah, I don't know, almost, and don't forget it's clearing the environment as well. So although it might be quieter, it'd be one of those things, you turn it down, you have to leave it running longer to do the same job. Because mine will clear the room. When I used to be naughty and not using a respirator, I used to sometimes spray. And you'd look around, there's like a cloud in here. So I used to hit them both on and leave the room, and then come back in a couple of minutes later and it'd be totally clear. You can literally see it being drawn into it as well. So, you know, again, it might be one of those where you think you're doing it by making it quieter and a bit nicer, but actually it might be sort of defeating the object of having one. But if you still need CFTs for whatever you're, I'd love to know what you're planning on doing with that. Let us know because I might actually have some.
chat, Martin says the ones based in Iceland always flew with them.
With a long range intercept, maybe.
So
Did they ever? I'm not being funny. I know the aircraft
I
really
don't
well,
know,
and I
just
can't
reading
imagine
what
why
Martin
it would.
got.
Because obviously, an Eagle with 3 bags under it.
57th FIS based at Keflavik.
So what? It had no missiles on it and just carried what? Because at that point, AMRAAMs weren't around because they obviously didn't fly out of there when AMRAAMs were around. So they would have only used Sparrow, and as far as I know, you couldn't carry Sparrow on the. Don't know. It's a weird one. Perhaps it was some trial thing they were working with them or something.
Stefan's come up on that Vigan. It's going to set you back $192 US if you pre-order it. $240 otherwise.
Which you might see sometime in the future. That'd be my worry.
Yeah, he said it is resin. Resin and 3D printed parts. Ugh. No.
What F-60, what F-50 were we talking about?
See,
The C.
There's one here. There's a D here with.
Yeah, is that a D or a C?
It's a D with. It's got the fuel tanks on it.
Martin goes on to say they could carry Sparrows on the CFTs.
so who does anyone make an aftermarket CFT then? That's one to pop into Hannah, isn't it? Wait, let's see if it comes up.
Can I just share this picture, Phil?
Yeah, I'll go on.
What was that?
But it looks cool with them on. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not a C.
No, it's a D.
Yeah.
In fact,
What
it might
we're
be a
looking
B.
at.
That might
Hey,
be a
what we're
B.
looking at.
Is that?
An F-15. Mind if they can put it on a B or a D, it'd go up to C, wouldn't it?
Because I thought any E's had them on.
Yeah, well, live and learn.
Again, that may be a thing because that's on. Okay, I think we might know where this is going. Then I've got a feeling then they might fit it to the D because the D's got the second cockpit, so it carries less fuel. It's a bit like the F-15, the F-18 Hornet. Actually, the forward fuel tank takes up a lot of room where the second person sits. So that's why they usually carry an extra fuel tank. So, see, I've got it here because obviously that's one. I've got Hasegawa do it. Hasegawa sell the kit. I think that is a 72nd one. Hold on, let me share a screen. Come on, load. It's struggling. It's not going to load.
And Martin goes on to say, yeah, the 57th flew both Ds and Cs with CFTs.
Yeah, I found a picture of a C with CFTs on as well.
Yeah, I've got one here. It won't load through. Look, I have it right here. That's it.
What's the CFT?
It's a conformal fuel tank. Runs down the sides of them. They call them pallets in the trade.
Oh, right.
It makes it look a bit overweight.
It's like the F-16s have on the spines and.
Yes.
Because
Okay.
it's got it here. If I'm going to go through, look, there it is. It shows it, but it's fuck ugly, isn't it?
It just looks like it's eating too many chips.
So the thing is, I just can't worry then. So why have that when it just doesn't carry 3 bags? Because you can't jettison the CFT.
They just have around, but we've got to do something with these things. Send them to
Perhaps it
Iceland.
was a trial thing because that's an A, isn't it, as well, isn't it? Is that a C? Oh no, it's a C. Yeah. Wow. There you go. Learn something new.
See, that's my way of telling the difference. Shot out the window then.
Hey.
That's my way of telling the different types of F-15 shot out the window.
Up to the
And
spot.
he's also said they were the only squadron to fly the seas with them.
Must be something particular to Iceland then.
It must be, yeah, it must be a reason why I don't carry the bags then, because surely, I'm not being funny, an F-15 with CFTs on it must fly horrible. Because it's a lot of fuel sloshing around that you can't get rid of, because you can't jettison a CFT. They are bolted on, they physically cannot be jettisoned. So the whole point is, if you've got bags on board, you can jettison them and go into dogfight mode. Will you imagine flying around with that full up with fuel? That's a weird one. That's like a proper, you need to speak to somebody in the know about that.
Yeah.
You know? That's a weird one, I must admit. That's one for the
Yeah.
Fighter Pilots podcast.
Yeah, Richard, it said it was a D, not a. It definitely said D on the description, not a E. So
Well, so we've just seen a photo of a C there with them on. But, because they were talking about it on the Fighter Pilots podcast a couple of weeks ago, and they were saying about did they fly with them, and they said no, because it would be freaking horrendous. Because apparently that's the whole point. The normal F-15 pilots, obviously because it's a fighter, and it's technically that and the Raptor are still the only pure fighters designed from it, and it's that thing where, you know, they can jettison their bags and go nice and slinky and get into a turning fight, but the Eagle guys can't. We'll have to
It's an
see
old
what they...
aircraft, isn't it now, an Eagle?
Well, they're doing the new one now, aren't they? The X.
Are they?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Well, the X is going to be slightly stealthy, but not fully, and it's going to be a bomb truck. I think that's the plan. It'll fly in after everything else and carrying lots of weapons, so that's what they're toting it as.
But it's still going to be recognisable as an F-15.
Yeah, it still looks a little bit like it. They're calling it Silent Eagle, but I don't know. It's still proposal. I don't think it's been fully done. It's a bit like the new Hornet, isn't it? They've done a brand new Hornet with stealth capabilities, and it's got big CFTs, but these are the ones that go on its saddlebags, call them. It sits on the back of it. So,
Right.
a bit like the F-16s have. It's the same one they're on about putting onto the Eurofighter. You know, that type of shape that it sits over the wings and down the back.
Chris said, if it's Iceland, they've only been used against badgers.
So, that's probably the Arctic QRA type stuff, isn't it? Yeah. That's one to sort of read up on after the show, isn't it?
Phil, did you have to sell? Did Phil have to sell his 2020 mugs? Yeah. Do you know what? I've got a prototype. That's it. I never got one of the decent ones because we sold them all. So yes, that's it. I mean, the year before's the undone one. Yes.
Soon be time for some new mugs.
That's it. A couple of months here, we'll be getting the new ones in. Mike Morris says, hi guys, thanks for these great shows. Idea for a video tutorial doing major surgery on a kit. For instance, removing sections of the fuselage, altering wing shapes, etc.
Aren't you doing that already?
Yeah, have you not been watching? I've cut the entire front of this thing off and redone it.
Yeah. Watch the BC-10 build.
Yeah. Have you not been watching, Michael? Jesus, I've been fighting with this for the last 2 weeks, cutting the front of this off and redoing it. We've redone the wings. We've reprofiled completely the tail and done everything. It's like, oh my god. It's had more surgery than most of my other kits, really. Dave says, question Phil, will you be checking out the AFV Club M16 Meat Chopper? Matt has added to the PM on the new arrivals. Yes. There it is. We spoke about this the other day, didn't we?
Yeah, it's not cheap though, is it?
No, it's not.
Bloody hell.
75 quid. It's a lot of pennies.
It is for what it is, but yeah. I mean, the only comparison really is obviously Dragon did one, which was a very sought after kit. And to be honest, the old Tamiya one, which they've discontinued again, it's one of them which is a good seller. Both of them are off tracked, and again, they don't do them. I can remember building the other bit, not that one. I think it was just the normal half track back in the day. But yeah, nice to see how that one sort of stacks up, especially against the Dragon one, because I think that's obviously the better one out of all of them now. But Yes, for that sort of money, it needs to be good.
Hmm.
That's strong pennies.
Just going back to the F-15s, Alan said safety issues flying over the North Atlantic. If ice and weather closed in, they'd have to fly on to the US or UK. So I wonder if if it was an icing problem with the external fuel tanks.
Well, they are just made of
You're on
fiberglass.
the Arctic Circle, aren't you?
Sorry.
Eh?
I said they are near the Arctic Circle.
Because obviously they've got de-icing on the wings and control surfaces and what have you, but they wouldn't have on the fuel tanks, would they? But I don't know.
To get them to the.
I don't know.
Diesel don't freeze.
I must admit, I was watching a video the other day. We were talking about that one earlier, and it was this Russian whatever it was firing it up. And like seriously, in the West, you can just imagine they'd be out there with like de-icers and everything. This thing's got so much snow on it that the props you can hardly see them. They're that covered, and it fires out, and there's smoke pouring out. It's obviously getting this thing going and all the rest of it. But it's taxiing along with like 4 foot of snow on top of it. And he's revving it up and it's blowing it off the wings, this prop, and it's blowing it actually all the snow off of it. But he's going along with like literally, it's supposed to have 2 foot of snow on top of the cockpit. And he's hitting the brakes and it's sliding off the front. And it's like, really? How did, So next thing you know, it starts taxiing and going along the runway and all this snow's blowing off the back of it. And it's like, yeah, only in Russia.
What plane was it?
It was similar to that one we had on that video. What was it, John? That prop thing.
Well, the Antonov.
It's like a Hercules on steroids.
Oh, what, the AN-22?
Yeah, that was it. So yeah, huge thing.
Hey. We're used to it though, aren't they, up there? So
Yeah, that's it.
they've kind of mastered cold start, shall we say.
I like it when you see these programs, isn't it? And in the morning you get the truck drivers and they're setting fire to underneath the vehicle to, obviously get the fuel a bit more liquidy and to warm up the oil in the engine. So they start fires underneath the lorries, don't they, to make it sort of a bit more lubricated. Otherwise the engines can't turn over because the oil is literally so cold it turns to tar. So, releasing the brakes there with like flamethrowers.
I watched a good one on Facebook this afternoon. They were starting an AN-2 Colt, the old biplane.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And they had a welly boot they put over one of the propeller blades.
Yeah.
Tied some rope to it, and there were 4 of them stood back. They all yanked the rope, so the propeller turned, the boot slid off, and it started.
I must admit, that's what I love about the Russian stuff. It's brilliant. Some of the stuff they do.
Just a quick on chat, Phil. Chris is saying, has anyone used Vallejo surface primer before? I have a bottle of grey 74601. Yeah.
All that stuff. Ugh.
Yeah.
Also, they used to tout that, so I've got loads of it in here. Here it is. There's 615 as well. They call it surface primer because it was their version of light ghost grey. Got a box full. Anybody want some?
No, thank you.
Trouble is, as it says at the top, polyurethane.
I use it on the figures and it's alright for that.
Yeah, it's all right on armour as well, isn't it?
Armour, priming armour, but not for aircraft. It's absolutely good for aircraft.
Because it's polyurethane, it doesn't sand very well, and you sort of end up ripping it rather than sanding it.
Just peels off in sheets.
Yeah, it does. It literally peels off.
Yeah. So it's all right for certain uses, but not for
Aircraft modelers.
aircraft modelling, really.
Definitely not for aircraft modelling.
No. Krista says, Phil and team, I'm thinking of getting the 132nd ME262. Should I go for the newer Revel kit or the old Trumpeter?
Rebel.
Yeah, the old Trumpeter's a bit ribbity, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd get the Rebel kits. Everyone that's built it said it's okay.
Yeah,
I
got one.
liked it. Yeah.
You liked it. Ivan built one for a magazine, and he thought it was nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's a Revell kit, so it needs a little bit of TLC. Nicely detailed. It's a good shape.
It's good value for money, really, as well, isn't it? It's only about 50 quid, I think.
Yeah.
Well, you can get it. I think that's full retail.
I think the Trumpy kit's got issues, hasn't it? From what I've read on it.
Well, it's all right, but it's
old school Trumpy though, isn't it?
there's nothing wrong with it. You can get one at the right price, but I think there's a bit more. The part count's a lot higher. So the Trumpeter one's one of those that looks really nice in the box.
Yeah.
Once you start getting it out, I think you're better off with the Revell one.
Okay, you can chuck some stuff at the Revell one as well to
Yeah, they've got head
upgrade it if you want, or you can just probably build it straight out the box. So that's the option. Yeah. Yeah.
Stephen says the HO guys, you mean train people, I think, do water very well.
Yeah,
Great at water. Some Korean YouTube channels have got amazing water effects on them. Don't ask me the names of them though.
I need to learn all this for doing my CL215.
Yes, you do. There's actually somebody who's done one in flight, dropping its load of water, and it does look actually quite effective. To be honest, it does look good. So yeah.
Are you doing your skimming across the lake, Phil? Picking?
Absolutely. Yeah, right. I'd like to be able to, I'd like to do it. I think in flight, because again, or landing in water. But yeah, I've never tackled anything like that before. It's a completely new thing to learn, and yes, don't know. It'd be one of those where I'll do my homework on it, and then obviously we'll plane build. That's all right. That's straightforward. But yeah, the rest of it's a bit like, oh, I don't know what to do with it. It'd be nice to have it taxiing with a bit of ripple behind it.
Yeah.
As well. I thought about if you just did like a diorama sort of this size, had it in the middle, and then had just some bow waves coming off as if it's taxiing or something like that. I was thinking like that. But but if you could try and do something dropping it, that'd be very effective. I just don't have a first fogginess how you go about that.
Imagine doing a burning forest and water, so you've got flame and water all in one day.
Well, this is it. Fire and water, we'll call that diorama. Load of trees on fire, some smoke, CL coming through. I can picture it now. The reality.
Yeah.
There's that thing, you get those memes, isn't it? The expectation and the reality. That'll be it, yeah.
That'd be about a 10-year build, wouldn't it? Correct?
Yeah, that's it. One for you, Nathan. I want to make a start in tornadoes. There you go. Could you suggest a 1/72 to make a start?
Okay, so if you want, if you want to do a GR, like ground attack, but not GR4, I'd go for the Revell kit. The IDS or the RAF GR1 is. The GR1's a bit tricky to get hold of, so have a look at Hobbycraft. I think it's on their website. But there's nothing wrong with that kit. If you want to do an F3, Hasegawa is the best kit, but they've just dropped off the end of the earth. You just can't get them. But I'd go for the Revell one. And do a GR.
Can you do a GR4?
You can get a few aftermarket bits and pieces to make it a GR4. Then your cockpit needs upgrading, so it's a bit hard. It's harder work doing a GR4. Every time I see Airfix, I kind of keep nudging them. Hopefully one day someone will do a nice up-to-date Tornado, because all the kits at the moment in 72, the weapons are well out of date.
Yeah.
The most up-to-date weapon you've got is a Paveway from like the Gulf War. But if you're willing to do an old grey-green wraparound GR1, the Revell kit's brilliant. Hasegawa do a GR4. The nose is a bit stunted, but once it's built, it looks all right. So, there's nothing wrong with it. Hasegawa kit, it is wrong. The nose is short, but on its own, once it's built up, it's all right. Looks okay to me.
Cool. Richard saying there about you could do a scene like in Always where the plane is scooping up with the two fishermen in the boat. That's brilliant. That's a Dakota, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's,
yeah.
I'll tell you what, that's a bit like one of those that goes down in history. I think it was a bit closer than I think they thought it was going to be. And so that bit where he pulls up just at the last moment, you know, even from the camera angle, it looks close. But yeah, when you see the shadow go over him and the water falling on their head, I think it was very close.
Yeah.
So, right, Chris wants to show off. Look, we're going to stroke his ego. Look, Andy, he's got a filter just like yours.
Clean, yeah. Nice one.
Look, it's like it's never been used. That's a very nice clean setup you got there. How long will it stay that clean?
Oh, not long.
Not long at all.
No.
So yeah, no, very nice, Chris. Very nice indeed.
Yeah, that's a cool setup, isn't it?
Nice little cool setup. That quite nice though. It's
Oh,
nice to be compact and bijou.
Yeah.
As I say, yeah, no, cool. I can't fault that at all. Very nice.
Yeah, does the job.
Does the job. It's all you need. Absolutely.
Hey, now give us a picture in about a month's time.
Yeah, that's right. Paul said, hello team, how would you go about building the Kawasaki C1 coming out from one-man models? Don't know if you get the hat and the kit, and it's a 170 a second, so it's going to be huge. Well, it won't be that massive, it'd be about the same size as a Transor, I think, but there we go, it's this one.
That's cool. Let's get that.
That's typical Japanese though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Funny looking motorbike.
Yeah, I thought yeah.
And his handlebars. Oh, look, sticking out. Is that? Yeah, that's very anime, isn't it?
Yeah, it won't be that massive. You say, I reckon that's about the same size as a Transall they are. It's not quite as big as like a, you know, C17 and stuff like that. That's all right. Question for the team regarding the Tamiya F16 CJ. What does the J stand for? That's a very good point. I don't know. Andy, quick, Google it.
What does the C stand for?
The C is the designation. So A, B, C, D.
Yeah, I know, but what does it?
Well, it just means it's the second generation
Just incremental,
of single seaters. The J, because they did the DJ and the CJ. The J, I've got to mean, isn't that for joint queuing system? Didn't they fit with that?
F16.net is your friend on this.
Does the DJ play music as it's?
No, not DJ, CJ.
DJ. Oh dear.
Oh, okay.
I've got no idea.
Diesel. The F16 CJ DJ have harm avionics, so they can do the airfield.
Anti-radar. Well, yeah, HARM is high-speed anti-radiation missile. So that's doing SEED, Wild Weasel back in the day.
I have no idea.
Or Iron Hand. Wasn't that they called that as well? Wasn't it Iron Hand in Vietnam? They used to call it.
Yeah.
Follows the radar track down, doesn't it? And
Yeah.
Keeping you up, John. We're keeping you up.
That's
Been a long
his
day.
job.
The cider's working.
He'll be fast asleep in a minute.
You know, it's not coming up instantly, is it? What the J stands?
Go on, Bennett.
F16.net has got like everything. F-16.net has got like everything on it. Nothing's jumping out.
Chris is saying, right, it's got the Queen's birthday this weekend, so they get a long weekend. Well, we don't even get it over here.
Yeah, but she has like 3 birthdays, doesn't she? Something?
Yes. John says, Phil, thanks for the tip on putting Tamiya tape on clear canopies so you don't sand, so you can sand off the sprue without damaging the piece. Really helped when doing my 72nd F4 that I'm working on. That's a tiny little canopy. Yes. Little one there.
Nathan said the J just designation show it carries the halfpenny.
Yeah, that's the
Like
seeker
traffic.
for the seed stuff.
Yeah.
Was it the
Yeah,
pay penny on those? It wasn't the pay penny on the F16s, was it? I thought the pay penny was what on the A10s had.
That's what it says on Wikipedia. And that's
I
never
thought
wrong.
the pave penny was.
Yeah. Wikipedia's always right.
Okay, Adrian says, "Hi chaps, does Andy know what scheme he's doing his ME262 in? I've just finished my Hobby Boss one that is different from his. I was wondering if he has a different scheme in his as at some point I would like to do another. And I don't
I'm
think...
doing it the box scheme,
RLM83.
which is
It is, isn't it?
72, 82, 83, and 76.
There you go.
Oh,
Are we sure about the 83?
Yeah. But it shows brown on there, and I'm doing it in MRP, which shows dark green. So, hey,
Yeah.
who knows? And I think it was Roger asked if it's the 48. Yeah, it is 48. Just it's fair that 262s aren't a very big aircraft at all. So
No,
yeah, it's not much bigger than a 109, is it really?
not really. No.
Oh, fair.
They couldn't be that big. They had to build them in underground, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hobby Boss kit is very highly talked of. I know people have built several of them, and it comes in all sorts of different versions as well. Hobby Boss have done loads of them.
Yeah, basically that one you can do as 1945, which is why, because it's obviously bulged to Berlin into some of the early ones, A1s and things are all 1944s, so want to fit into the time frame.
It'd be nice to see how it goes together, to be honest.
Yeah,
We'll
Yeah.
start it tomorrow.
I was going to start it tonight, but yeah, tomorrow
Sort of run out
probably.
of time on that.
You could say 5 minutes, mate. You can get going on it.
Yeah, you get that done. Okay, Nigel says, "Hi Phil and the lads. That's what my dad used to tell me when he served in the Royal Artillery in Korea. He told me they used to light fires under their trucks, fuel tanks, to thin the diesel, which are used to go thick during the winter." There you go.
Sounds so counterintuitive, doesn't it? Setting fire to fuel tanks.
Yeah, just start a big fire.
I know, not personally, clearly, but you can set fire to Sentex.
Yeah.
Don't try it at home, children, but it actually does work really well for doing your cup of tea. First time I was there, but we're seeing this happening, you're like, everything in your head says don't do it, and yeah, it works really well. Works brilliantly. Anyway, Paul says, one for Phil. Oh, Jesus. 3D printed. Bit different to build, Phil. The Hawker Siddeley HS748 in 1/32 scale.
And it's 3D printed, that? Or is that somebody else's?
I think somebody else has 3D printed the kit. It's a 3D printed kit.
So that makes me feel very inadequate.
Inadequate, yeah.
Yeah, Andy, when are you doing yours?
Yeah, that's the future, isn't it? And you're looking at there a little bit.
Harry, you ought to hurry up, Andy. You can 3D print a vegan by the time we finish.
Yeah, I bet it still comes out first.
Or a Buccaneer. Let's do a 48 Buccaneer on your printer.
Yeah.
Question for Phil. I have built the 1/32 Bearcat based at wherever, I can't even pronounce that. Got the gloss sea blue looking good, as the paint does not fade or all the weathering surfaces. Hold on. Paint does not fade or the weathering is surface. Any hints on how to achieve the level of weathering without ruining it? So he's got a picture. Hold on. So that's what we're trying to achieve. That's what he's got.
We'll go back to the black and gold.
Dark dirt, grime.
Yeah, again, it looks...
It looks big.
That looks filthy.
It does. It looks just proper muddy, doesn't it? Sort of.
Yeah.
Could have dust effect weather in there.
Yeah, maybe.
The
I'd
wing.
say probably like a grime wash right over it to start with.
Is that in Indochina, is it?
I don't
French
know.
or Indochina? I think it is in the 50s, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or early 60s.
Really difficult to tell off black and white photos, isn't it? But
Mm,
Look at the wheels.
yeah.
Because say the wheels are absolutely ditched.
Yeah, it's really dusty, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all this stuff down in here, you see, it's like proper weathered, isn't it? It's not just like the usual places. It's very unusual to get them really heavily weathered on leading edges, because normally they're clean.
Is it sandblasted?
Yeah, maybe. Don't know.
Looks like it's gone through a sandstorm.
Because I say it's obviously hot because the guys who were working on it are.
Just in shorts.
To be honest, it looks like they dropped the bomb once in the mud, get it out and stick it back on.
God, that's a hell of a job. The bomb looks filthy.
It does. It looks like they've been dropped it in the mud and picked it up again. So yeah, it's difficult in black and white, as you say, to understand it. I would probably be, if that was me, I'd say probably in with like a grime wash, because that's more of that type of dirty colour. And then yeah, you're just going to be, you know, as you say, bits of everything, pigments and stuff to try and filthy it down, really.
obviously Jamie Haggo was in the paint shop that day, wasn't he?
Yeah, clearly.
I mean, you can spray the wash to get that effect just in front of the canopy where it's like patchy and dusty.
Yeah, up here. Yeah.
I'd be tempted to spray the wash.
Yeah. Yeah. Put.
Flat coat down. That's almost the last thing you do. Flat coat and spray the wash onto it, and then if you fluff it up or go too far, you can just wipe it off.
Yeah, I'd say the only other way to do it is, apart from obviously do Phil's wash, is oils as well, because you can actually, you want something you can remove if you're not happy with it.
Yes.
So oils are pretty safe, and sort of your washes as well, innit? If you don't like it, you just get rid of it. It's not the effect after.
Yeah.
And that's what you want. I'd stay clear of pigments and enamels, to be honest, if you're going to try it, because I think the pigments will stain and the enamels will stick to, like, shit to a blanket, to be honest. So they'll be hard to get off. But yeah, it should be safe with your wash and oils. You can just get rid.
Anyway, just to finish off, back to our F-15Cs.
Yeah.
Martin's built one.
With the CFTs on it?
With the CFTs, conformal fuel tanks. So he's got a bag underneath it, and it's the proper old school loadout. So it must have been an early C.
It's,
with the standard 4 and 4 loadout.
Goes to show you learn something.
Yeah. So yes, there you go.
Yeah, I'd have said that was an E. That's how much I know about F-15s.
As I say, I still don't understand why it don't go with 2 bags.
Yeah.
Forget the
Somebody
centerline
once
one.
told me that if it's got the bags on the side, it's an E.
Yeah, well, technically that's true. Well, it is these days.
Yeah.
But because in the UK, the Eagles we have over here usually standardly fly with 2 bags on the wings, not the centre one. The only time they carry the centre one is for ferry jobs. So yes.
Can I just do a very quick screen share, Phil?
Yes.
Stefan posted this up, a link.
Oh yeah, that'd be a doddle.
You could do that in a week.
Piece of cake. Yeah, I'm thinking that. I can't do that one anyway. That's a different version. That's the 415, unfortunately, and I can't do a 415.
That is actually a diorama.
Yes. Jesus.
That's the one I've seen on Facebook, I think.
Show us the other picture.
That's the first picture.
See, look again. I tell you, that's absolutely stunning, beautiful work. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking it off because I thought that was a photo to start with. But look, the bloody props.
Yeah.
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 Every time. Just wish there was a way you could do a decent. You know, you think as modelers, after all these years, somebody would come up with a decent blurred prop. No, that's fantastic. That is. Is that fibre fill was used?
Don't know.
Take it is. See?
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
That's very good. That's absolutely excellent.
Clever.
Very clever. Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
That's a super build, isn't it?
That is very, very clever, that, Phil. Very nice.
There you go. The challenge has been set, Phil.
No, I'm not doing it because I can't do props. So mine's going to be on the ground. It would be like taxiing in with the props off. You know that bit where they shut off the props and just glide in like they do because they're clever. If that was me, I'd bollocks it up and end up stop and have to restart to get me in, or be out the side paddling. But you know, you used to get people when I used to do the boat, be on the boats. I used to do that. Shut down the engine, lift the engines up, and glide up. You know, if I tried that, I'd stop short and have to put the engine back, start again and come in again. But yeah. Anyway, that will do us for tonight because it's gone 9 o'clock. Well done, everybody. We did no modelling whatsoever, which is great for a Saturday night.
I did. That'd good.
Well, you did, clearly. Go on then, show us your wares.
Not much to see. I've just painted the gun and put it on
You
this
stuck
one.
his gun on.
That's it. Finished the part. I can get on with the base and that's done.
Very nice. Cool.
We'll get some photos up when it's complete.
Yes. Very good indeed. Right, well, if that does us tonight, thank you very much to John. Sorry, John's been in the background, but we couldn't get him on screen because I've got my new system and it doesn't allow for that currently. But thank you very much for joining us, John, as always. We'll run round. Thank you very much to Matt. Lovely
No
job as
problem.
well. Thank you very much to Andy.
Been a pleasure.
That's it. And thank you very much to Nathan as well for joining us this evening.
Yep. Right.
Obviously, won't be back with you on Monday, but you will get up part 2 of obviously this, and then you get part 3 on Wednesday and probably part 4 on Friday, and that'll give me a bit of time to get on with the B17, so I've got to do the masking work, and hopefully we'll get out into primer. So hopefully by next week, this thing will be looking properly all done. Well, definitely have the wings and the tail and everything on, and then we'll be into paint the week after, and the plan of action is to get obviously the B17 either into paint or definitely into primer and everything else, make our way through next week as always. So that's it from us. Thank you very much for joining us. We will see you again very, very soon. Take care. Happy modelling. Bye. Wave,
Bye.
everyone. Wave. That's it. Outro scene.